So yeah, I'm glad I got to experience it. I don't think I have a lot of fear in general at this point. I work through a lot of my fears and shames, programming that I inherited from my ancestors, my family. But yeah,
Programming.
a lot of programming. Yeah, it's been a long journey for me. I've been in therapy for a while, for years. Energy work, consistent energy work, all these practices that I do for my clients, I try to incorporate them for myself as well. So it's been nonstop for about 12 years or more even. Yeah.
That's amazing.
This is Olia Rich, a dedicated psychotherapist with years of experience helping individuals overcome challenges and improve their lives. She has guided many patients through meaningful changes, empowering them to find healing, clarity, and a stronger sense of well-being. By applying her extensive knowledge and compassionate approach, Olia creates therapy sessions that truly make a difference, helping her clients build healthier and more fulfilling lives.
You find that the more work that you do, the length of peace between being upset becomes further and further and further and further apart.
Absolutely. The way it works, you actually get lighter. And when you get lighter in your energy, you're able to neutralize situations faster. And our job is to neutralize things constantly.
Right.
So things are not too important. And what I notice when people have difficult times in their journeys, right? It's like they have these high expectations. They put so much importance, so much pressure on themselves, and what they value the most will be taken away. We have to play this game in a very neutral way. Yes, it's important, but I'm not going to let it ruin my life. I'm not going to overthink it. If it's mine, if it's meant for me, it's going to become mine, right?
Right. And not only that, but there's also like whatever you fear the most can also become a reality.
Absolutely.
Hello and welcome to the Mn8 Light podcast. I'm your host with Chris and Olia. How are you?
Hi.
Welcome.
I'm doing so great. Yes, welcome. What a beautiful summer we've had. We got married.
We did. And a honeymoon.
Yeah, it was epic. But overall, it's been so busy. It's been so vibrant, so much positive energy, meeting new people. It was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're back.
I love it.
So we are going to talk about your amazing NDE experience.
One of my favorite stories of all time.
Yes.
That actually happened.
I really would love for you to share this story with the audience because it's such an amazing, unbelievable experience you had. Mm-hmm. And I feel like people need to know about it.
Well, this experience happened to me. And the first thing that happened was that I went to sleep. And a common question that I get when I tell this story, did I take anything before I went to bed? Was I on anything? No, I didn't take anything. I wasn't on anything. I just went to bed like any normal night and I just went to sleep. So as I was sleeping, the very first thing that happened was that I became aware that I was dreaming. So this would be called a lucid dream. So I'm aware that I'm dreaming and I go, oh, wow, look at that. I'm aware that I'm dreaming. This dream is happening. And I'm like, this is kind of jolting when it happens in the consciousness.
Yeah.
And then the very next thing that happened was that the dream started to fade out. And I was like, that's strange. So the very first thing that happened is that the dream started to fade out.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's odd. The dream is fading out. So the very next thing that happened was that I started to hear static, like pink noise. And the only way I could describe the sound that I was hearing was that if you have ever been in a swimming pool and it has started to rain and you put your head underneath the water and you can hear the raindrops hit the top of the pool.
The pool.
Yeah, so it was like that. So the dream is fading out and I'm noticing that the sound of this pink noise is getting louder. And I go, that's strange. And then I'm noticing that my breath is getting faster and that my heart is starting to pound and I'm becoming aware of all these things at the same time. So then I think to myself, this is not good. Like, I don't know what's happening.
None of it is good.
This is not good. So then what happens is I start to feel an electricity building at the base of my spine. And I'm like, this is strange. So now the point that I noticed that there's this energy building at the base of my spine, like this electricity, my breath is getting faster, my heart is pounding harder, the static is getting louder, and the dream is still continuing to fade out. So I'm noticing all these things at one time. And so now things are ramping up. So now this energy is like electrocuting me at the base of my spine. And now it starts to move up my spine. And now the static is getting louder and louder. And now this energy is building. And now it's creeping up my spine. And I'm like, this is not good. I have no idea what's happening.
So overstimulating.
Very. So this energy builds up. And now it gets to the top of my crown. And the noise from inside my head is so loud, and then all of a sudden, like a Tesla coil, like how the energy like
Goes up.
There was an explosion at the top of my crown, and I was like, what the was that? I'm just like, this is not good. This is bad. All of this is bad. I have no idea what's happening. My heart is continuing to now pound out of my chest. And so now this energy is starting to build at the base of my spine again. And I'm like, oh, this is bad. The point where I just keep saying this is bad keeps happening over and over.
And keeps getting worse and worse.
Keeps getting worse and worse. And I become hyper aware of all these things that are happening to me as this whole thing like unravels. Yeah. So then this energy like builds up again and it explodes. The noise in my head is deafeningly loud. It seems to me like I'm standing next to a jet engine. It's so loud. And then the dream is almost faded out. And I'm just like, oh my God, I don't know what's happening. This is not good. And then all of a sudden, as the dream completely fades out, the noise is deafening. It's so loud in my consciousness. And immediately I pop out of my body. And I'm like, holy crap. I'm looking at my body and I'm like, this is not good. That I'm staring at my body. And so at this point, the very first thing that I became aware of when I popped out of my body is I was inundated with the most love that I've ever felt in my entire life. So I was completely flooded with love. And the only way I could describe the feeling that I was completely inundated with was, imagine the person that you love the most on this planet and you give them a hug and you're like, oh, I love them. And you say, oh, like, let's give it a factor of like 20. Oh, the best love that I come up with, it's 20. That's your best. I was at like 500 and it was like, take the best orgasm you've ever had in your entire life and then multiply that times like 100 and then combine them together. And so that's where I was. I was like, holy.
This high euphoria.
Crap. Yeah, I'm like, oh my God. And I'm looking at my body and I can see my breath coming in and out of my body and I can see my heart pounding. And I was just like, I'm like, that's bad. And then I go, but I feel amazing. Like, I feel so good. And then I looked back at my body and I'm like, that's very bad. And then I'm like, and then I go, wait a minute. I'm like, I don't want to go back.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. I'm thinking this through now.
Why would I want to go back?
I don't want to go back. I'm like, and I yell at the top of my consciousness, like with as much energy that I could, like, so God could hear. I was like, hey, I don't want to go back. I made my decision.
I'm staying.
Case closed. I've made my decision and we're done.
And here you are.
So I'm just all blissed out and I'm like, this is amazing. And then what happened was I got this like intuitive, it's not your time. And then I was like, oh.
Can we make it my
I
time?
was like, I don't. And then I was started to get sucked back into my body. And I was so angry in this moment.
Wait, did they say why it wasn't your time?
No, it was intuitive too. It wasn't like I heard a voice. So I'm getting sucked back into my body. And I'm so angry in this moment. The only way I could describe this is if I could put this into a 3D reality, is if I stood on this table and I yelled at the top of my lungs, I'm not going back. I don't want to go back. Don't make me go back.
Yeah.
Like at the top of my lungs. And then, so I'm like trying to convey this message of no, I don't want to. So I'm getting sucked back into my body. And at this point, I'm like, all right, this is like nothing. This is happening. So I acquiesce. There's nothing I can do. Nothing's helping. I'm getting sucked back into my body. So I'm like, okay.
How did that feel? Was it painful?
It wasn't painful. It was just a really weird sensation of like being pulled. So I am getting sucked into my body. And I remember I'm just like becoming more and more aware of my body as I'm like reintegrating back into it. And I'm like, oh, this is the weirdest feeling I've ever felt. Because I wasn't connected to my body. I was in my body, but not connected. And I'm like, this is the weirdest feeling I've ever felt. And then, you know, those old timey electrical circuits with the forks where like, they would like take this lever and then they would throw it. And then the moment that this lever throws, you would see like a spark. And I felt this massive surge of electricity. And there was an explosion of energy. I'm connected to my body and now I'm awake. And I remember I'm shaking. So I'm laying in bed and I'm like, oh my God, what just happened? I'm shaking. My hands were by my side and I remember touching my fingertips. And like, I'm
checking
like, oh
reality.
God, I'm back. I can feel and then I touched my face and I'm like, oh my God, I'm back. And so I was laying next to my partner at the time, my ex-wife. And I remember looking at her and I was like, well, I don't want to wake her up because this will freak her out. So I'm not going to say anything. So I go downstairs, I get some water, I calm down, and then I decide I'm going to go back to bed. So I go back to bed. And then the next day, around 3 in the afternoon, I said, hey, Kim, my ex, I was like, I need to tell you what happened to me last night.
Yeah.
And I told her the exact same story that I just told you and the audience. I've never deviated from the story because it's still so surreal. It's just like it's a scar on my consciousness, the whole experience. So I told her the story and she goes, well, you don't even know the half of it. And I go, what do you mean I don't know the half of it? And she said, I dreamt you died last night.
Wow.
So
that's incredible.
That entire experience was...
You can make that up.
I mean, it was just crazy but I want to say this happened in like, probably would have happened right before the pandemic.
Okay.
So when this happened, the single thing that changed my life the most in one experience.
In one short experience like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I have 4 main takeaways that when this happened, I came back with. And the first one was that I needed to be loving and kind to all the things. That's my first pillar. So be loving and kind to all the things as they arise within my awareness. And then the second thing that happened was I needed to be radically authentic to my blueprint. For example, being radically authentic to my blueprint. If somebody invites me to a party and I don't want to go to the party, I'm just going to say no. Like I'm not going to placate or be something that I'm not. I'm going to live my authenticity and be my truth, whatever that is.
Beautiful.
The third one, my third pillar, is to be happy at all costs. and to live a life that generates happiness. So follow your bliss wherever that leads and wherever that goes. And then the last one is to be forgiving and accept whatever is and how it is arising. So it's kind of like, don't argue with reality. So if you get a flat tire, the flat tire is happening. There's nothing that you can do about it. It's already happened. So how do you show up in that flat tire? I had an experience where I got arrested in Canada for something silly. They did a test on my vitamins and it came back positive for psilocybin. And when I was being arrested, I was like, this is kind of a silly situation, but it's happening. So I was accepting of it and I didn't get upset and I just allowed it play out. And in that playing out and how it resolved, nothing bad happened. It cost me like 30 minutes of my time then. And then there was some things that happened after the fact that I lost my global entry for a while, but eventually I got it back.
Yeah. But you were able to be present and accepting of the situation.
Right.
And that's kind of what got you through it.
Right, exactly. So the point of this is if you can accept your reality and not argue with what is happening, because if it's happening, it's too late. If it's happening, then there's nothing you can do about it because it's happening.
It's happening. It's happening for you. It's happening to test your strength, to test your awareness, to test your acceptance and forgiveness skills. So the more you do it, the better, obviously. But it seems like you're mastering all these beautiful lessons.
I am working on mastering them. I'm not. Yeah, it's a daily practice.
It's a daily practice, but I am someone who knows you personally and I don't ever see you angry or upset. And it's just beautiful to witness how you accept situations in a very peaceful manner. And you simply don't let things bother you. You just let it roll off your shoulders, kind of.
90% of the time.
Yeah. No, it's higher than that.
Okay, thank you. That's high praise. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
it's amazing. But how did you come up to these beautiful 4 realizations, 4 pillars? Was it like a download after your near-death experience? What happened? How did you come up with that?
That's a great question. And I don't have a really good answer for that. I think that the one about being happy, because I was kind of miserable in what I was doing and where I was in my life. And having that contrast of just beauty and love and bliss, and then coming back into my life as I'm not happy with my decisions that I've made and where I am in life. And that contrast was so great. And there was such a gap. And if I'm now back and I have to be in this body and do this existence, I want to be as close as I can be, even if it's a fraction of a fraction, to feel that kind of love that's possible. How do I now create a life where I can just experience a decimal point of whatever that was that happened?
And you creating that very successfully, and you leading by example and teaching other people that surround you, whether it's at work or at home, friends, neighbors. I always see you emanate that beauty, that light. And it's such a great way to show others what's possible. So thank you for doing your part in this.
Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. I really love watching your journey unfold and seeing how you impact other people, including myself.
Oh, that's beautiful. I'm so grateful to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to turn the tables and ask you, because you've had a couple different experiences.
I've had a beautiful experience where I went to sleep and met my dad. That was in my mid-20s. I was probably 27. And it was an incredible experience. I saw all the colors that do not exist here on this planet. The music, the vibrations. It was absolutely harmonic, peaceful, I mean, there are no words to describe this. I would probably use the words nirvana, bliss, ecstasy times thousand. It was really, really difficult to come back when they told me I had to go back after he greeted me and kind of gave me a big hug, which was so beautiful. I remember experiencing really deep post ND, so to speak, depression. I did not
I
want to
felt the
come.
same thing.
Didn't want to come back. I was depressed for a few days. I tried to sleep more and didn't want to go to college. It was just really, really difficult for me. I mean, I was in grad school, so it was didn't want to go to school, didn't want to do anything. It was very dark after what happened. The contrast really just impacted me. Yes, this was one, and I had another one. It was an incredible experience. I was doing bufo, which is a crystallized frog secretion. It's a medicine brought by shamans from South America, and I took it in a ceremony. And it was absolutely beautiful. It knocked me out of my body. I had a full-blown ego death, and I went straight to the source. It was so serene, so peaceful, and all I could remember was I am all, I am love, I am all, I'm everything. In that moment, nothing really mattered. I could feel everything. And at the same time, it was like nothing at the same time. So there was no fear. It was just a great feeling of love, peace, and acceptance. When I tell you there was no fear, fear was not even on the same plane of existence. It was so beautiful, so empowering, and so loving. It was very, very beautiful, loving presence. And it lasted probably 20 minutes. And then I came back out, and I could never forget that feeling.
I remember you said something about like you felt the earth was like your step stool and you could create anything you wanted.
Yeah, this was one of the messages that I got, that I am the creator, and I am kind of like my own goddess in my own universe, and I can create whatever I want, any kind of reality. Anything I desire is there for me. So that was one of the downloads I got during that experience. And another thing, before I got to that point, right, before I got to the light, I had to face the shadow self. And many people call it an ego death. And it was probably one of the most difficult experiences, darkest, scariest experiences of my life, personally. Before I died, right? I had to face the shame, face the fear, face all my inner darkness. It wasn't until I realized I had to surrender. I had to realize I'm human and I have all these feelings, and I just have to let it go. And only after I surrendered and accepted all that shame and fear, I was able to kind of move through that tunnel and get to the light. Yeah. It wasn't a long tunnel. It was like a short tunnel, but it felt like, yes, this is kind of the portal that you have to go through to get to the other side. And it kind of pushed me out.
Right. And I remember the shaman saying that you have to let go. Part of the process of going through this experience of taking a large quantity of DMT is that your ego will say, no, let's play it safe. And you just have to be like, we're going to jump off the cliff and we're going to allow whatever it is to happen.
And it was absolutely epic. So yeah, I'm glad I got to experience it. Yeah, I don't think I have a lot of fear in general at this point. I work through a lot of my fears and shames, programming that I inherited from my ancestors, my family. But yeah, a lot of programming. Yeah, it's been a long journey for me. I've been in therapy for a while, for years, energy work, consistent energy work. All these practices that I do for my clients, I try to incorporate them for myself as well. Mm-hmm. So it's been nonstop for about 12 years or more even.
That's amazing.
I want to get as lighter as possible so I can impact as many people as possible.
Right.
Yeah, that's the goal.
You find that the more work that you do, length of peace between being upset becomes further and further and further and further apart.
Absolutely. The way it works, you actually get lighter. And when you get lighter in your energy, you're able to neutralize situations faster. And our job is to neutralize things constantly. So things are not too important. And what I notice when people have difficult times in their journeys, right? It's like they have these high expectations. They put so much importance, so much pressure on themselves, and what they value the most will be taken away. We have to play this game in a very neutral way. Yes, it's important, but I'm not going to let it ruin my life. I'm not going to overthink it. If it's mine, if it's meant for me, it's gonna become mine, right?
Right. And not only that, but there's also like whatever you fear the most can also become a reality.
Absolutely. And
So
that's how people manifest subconsciously. They don't realize it, but it's like a negative manifestation because they're so afraid of it, and it will actually come through.
Right.
Yeah, but one of the greatest ways to neutralize it is that you accept that. You accept, okay, what if this happens to me? I will be okay. I will be all right. And they need to be prepared to face their darkest, the biggest fears, because we don't know. We don't know what life would bring us tomorrow, right? So we need to be able to accept everything, and this is how we neutralize things.
Yeah. And I like the word that you're saying, neutralize. And it is tied directly to neutrality and finding that neutrality in all things. And if you can find being at peace in whatever circumstance, you can navigate that.
Yeah. And I hate to say it, I see my daughter sometimes getting too excited, and she doesn't realize that that causes extra energetic potential. And when her plans kind of fall through, she gets really, really, really upset. Even with excitement, we have to watch out. Yes,
Right.
it is important, but I'm not gonna get super devastated if it doesn't happen. So keep ourselves leveled.
Right.
If you guys learn it, it's just a really good way to sail through in a very smooth way. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. So that is it for today.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
I always love hearing your stories and your perception of life and healing. It's always such a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. You were the main star today.
Well, thank you.
It was amazing. What a great story.
Would love to know if anybody else has had a near-death experience.
Or ego death experience.
Yeah, please comment in the comments.
And I always say to people, if you have an opportunity to do one of these ceremonies, or it would be, I guess, before ayahuasca or any mushroom ceremony, and experience ego death, please do. Everybody should die, not physically, but emotionally.
Right.
It's an incredible experience.
Yeah,
you will not regret.
Take that fear away from death.
It will definitely help you with that if you're fearful of death, dying. Do it. Please do it. It will help you a lot.
Absolutely.
So yeah, thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. Thanks for showing up today.
Thank you. Until next time.